Hello, everyone. Um, I making this audio recording and adding it to my video because, well, as you just saw a moment ago, my video decided to start lagging for some reason, and my sound got screwed up big time. There was like 10 seconds worth of audio desync or more on this video, and you really couldn't tell what was happening anymore. So I really just didn't like it, so I got rid of it. And this is just me trying to make up for it. It's either this or just have it be silent the whole time, and I really. What happened there? Well, crap. This whole recording is like on the fritz. The reason I even am keeping this is because, well, I don't have a choice for one thing. Because I saved after this when I got done recording, and I can't go back and re-record it anymore, which sucks. I got another joy pendant, whatever. Yeah, I am not very happy about this at all. I think I know what the problem was, though, so this shouldn't happen again. I really have been using uncompressed for the ZD Soft recorder because, well, for the most part, it's working pretty good, and I just got burned. Yay. However, the thing is, though, is that uncompressed doesn't give me a whole lot of options with a recorder. And I love the options aren't really perfect. I mean, I know that. And the recordings aren't going to be in perfect quality. But if I try to do anything that's not perfect, then, well, that's all I've got. I think I'm going to take it off uncompressed, though, just because I have a little more room to mess around with the recordings a bit. And hopefully that will fix things. That's really a lot of what I really wanted to say in this. I really thought there was going to be a whole lot less left to do in the temple, but there was a whole lot more than I thought. Just trying to get the big key. And that bat tried to get me, but I got out of the way. Okay, I have to admit, there's one thing I didn't mention that I should have. If you have a GameCube, well, yeah, you would have to have either a GameCube or a Wii to play this, but if you have a Game Boy Advance and a GameCube, you can plug the Game Boy Advance and use it as a controller, and use it with Wind Waker, and by doing so, you could have access to a lot of options. One is the ability to use bombs early by pointing at a mini-map, and you can bomb a certain area for so many rubies. Admittedly, this isn't really all that helpful, but it's fun to play around with, especially since you don't get bombs for a while. I think that's kind of neat. Oh yeah, it's these stupid centipede enemies that I hate so much. Yeah, that kills them, which you're not supposed to do. What you're supposed to do is, I think you can use the grappling hook while you're locked on to throw it at the enemy's eye. But you don't have to, as I'm going to demonstrate. There we go. By attacking them enough times, they'll curl up and you can use them as blocks. Pretty effective, actually. And fancy chest. I wonder what's inside this. It couldn't possibly be the big key, could it? Nah. Oh, well, what do you know? It is the big key. Oh well. But we all knew that's what was in it anyway. Now, to progress. And yes, to answer a current complaint some people have. And if you're wondering why I'm quitting and then restarting, it's because I can take a shortcut with the teleporting jars, which I'm about to demonstrate. The complaint, though, is that people are saying I talk too fast in my commentary. And I will have to admit that they are right. And I try to rush in to get to the jar, but they keep stopping me. So I fight them. Admittedly, taking the time to fight these guys kind of makes me trying to hurry up with the teleporting jar seem a little bit pointless. And I tried to be a little gutsy with the jump attack, and it doesn't really work. These guys may be dumb as nails, but they are at least smart enough to jump out of the way when you do a jump attack. So that's something worth noting. I will try to work on slowing down when I talk, but since I'm playing a game while doing commentary, I'm not making any promises. Because I tend to talk normally when I'm doing something else. But I will try to work on it at least. And I'm at the boss door already. Heck yeah. I should have just made one huge video with dealing with the Dragon Roost Temple, but... And look, I enslave a fairy in a bottle. Because that's what all heroes do. Enslave poor creatures rather than yourselves, and use them to your advantage. That's something I never really understood about Zelda. Link's supposed to be this honorable hero, yet he's enslaving fairies in bottles. I never really understood that. It's kind of counterintuitive. And my recorder is doing it again. Jeez, so much lagging using this setting. It's kind of annoying. Especially since when I was looking at it on the test run, it was fine. At least. Whoa, you were looking at it being recorded, it was fine. But when I saw the recording afterwards, oh man. Don't know what was up with that. And if you guys don't recognize this boss, it's the huge... Ah, darn it, I used the fairy on accident. Oh well. This boss isn't all that hard anyway. Goma has actually been a reoccurring boss since the first Zelda game. And to explain what I'm kind of doing right now... You're supposed to swing on Velu's tail, and I overshot. And when you fight bosses and fall in the lava, it doesn't hurt you all that much. For some reason. Don't ask me to explain that, I really couldn't say. He will be dumb enough to put the huge rock up there so that you can keep using it on him. Making Goma one of the dumbest bosses in the game by far. Since he'd be pretty much invincible otherwise. But whatever. This boss is really simple. There are jars all over the stage that you can use to refill life. So there's really no excuse if you die to this thing. And as long as your aiming is good, you don't even have to go to where he is. You can just swing from platform to platform. At this point, though, you will have to get down there to actually hurt him, since he's gonna break out of his special armored body. At this point, the music that's playing would be a little more faster paced. But since you can't really hear that, I apologize. I really do. I wanted to make this as epic as possible. And Goma goes down. Man, what an easy boss. Of course, every 3D Zelda boss has been easy, because I guess they like gimmick bosses more than actually hard bosses, which me and my friends actually complain about. We need much harder bosses. And actually, the music that plays when the special wind tunnel appears and you can pick up the heart container is actually the same song, or a remix of the same song that plays when you're playing Majora's Mask and the moon is just about to fall on the town. I'm apparently the only one that was able to notice that, though. Oh well, pay attention next time you hear it and you'll see what I mean. It's not the exact same song, but you can definitely tell it's a remix of it. And the reason I'm standing still was because that's when I chose to explain about the song. But yeah. All done with Dragon Roost Temple, finally. Oh jeez. Talk about an annoying place to go through. Not because it was hard, but because of how many times I had to do it. Because of recording issues. Man, what a load. And Medley tries to explain the situation, and everything's all better. And now for me to be quiet for a second. Din's Pearl Kit. Okay. I actually went inside the ship and bought the bait bag, because I will need that later to progress the game. So that was kind of my bad for not realizing that. Also, on a New Game Plus, you can understand the Mystic Being's language. I believe it's ancient Helian they're actually speaking, and the Helian that the people say in Wind Waker is actually quite a bit different. It's like Old English versus New English. It's a bit different. Although in their case, they don't even understand the Old Helian, where we can at least make out Old English. But whatever. You also get the cool blue pajamas tunic that Link was wearing in the beginning, which I actually prefer. Mostly because Link also goes hatless, which I kind of like, actually. The hat kind of... I never really cared for it in this game. I think a couple of people in Outset actually made the comment that the hat is actually too big for Link, and it didn't look right. So that could be one reason. And man, it's lagging again. My goodness. Last I checked, it wasn't lagging this bad. Well, nothing I can do about it, really. I will promise, though, next time I'm going to be a lot more careful doing these recordings. I honestly wasn't expecting this at all, to be honest. And we actually find out that we have to hurry up and go to the next location, because Ganon is onto us. The problem, however, is that because you're in such a rush, the King of Red Lions will not allow for any detours. So this part of the game is kind of linear. You have no real freedom, so to speak. So... yeah, I had trouble getting on the King of Red Lions because of this. Yeah, I had to actually change the way the wind is blowing, otherwise he wouldn't even let me on. And I forgot how the song went. Go me. And it does bother me that I can't take my time putting in the song notes in this game, because the thing goes left and right, and it pretty much forces you to quickly press the buttons. This becomes much more of a nuisance later when you have to do more than 3 notes at a time, and you have no time to think about it. And behold, as I act incredibly stupid... Oh wait, that hasn't happened yet, never mind. We meet probably one of the more, I shouldn't say annoying characters, but one of the more forgettable ones, since he has to do with helping you out with your C chart. If you're doing a perfect run, he's kind of useful, but otherwise not so much. Because now that we have game facts, a lot of the info he tells you isn't really all that helpful. If you're a purist, though, you can use him. He will, however, make it to where you can see the islands on your map. So if you want to use treasure charts, it would be in your best interest to get this done. Otherwise, you can live without the info. Unless you're just completely lost. And that comment he made about that cave on Dragon Roost, I will actually be coming back to that as soon as possible. Because the ability to quote-unquote fly he spoke of, I'll be getting real soon. The problem with this video is it seems like it keeps trying to lag a little bit in between fast and things that take a while to load. And how fast the text is scrolling, that's another problem. I think the setting I had it on is only at 10 FPS, and what I was using was at 30 FPS, so that's another reason. FPS stands for frames per second, by the way, if you're not aware of it. If you have it on low, then you can only really play slow frame rate games on it. If it's at 30, you can play much faster paced games. Honestly, it didn't really occur to me to check that before I started recording, so this is mostly my fault and not the recorder's fault. But like I said, I'm gonna take it off. Oh yeah, this is a mistake I made before. I apparently was not aware that that's actually Dragon Roost Island over there. I actually thought that this was one of the side areas, and I wanted to see if I could access it. And I explained that you can sail without the power of the wind on your side, but it's very slow. So I do not recommend doing that. It's much faster just do the wind's requiem. If you have it as an option. What you just saw over there, though, is the cave that he spoke of. But you have to be at the very top of Dragon Roost, and you have to have the ability to fly through the air, so to speak. And this is probably where the video is going to end, because I really didn't have time for anything else. So that is that. I will see you guys later. Hope you all have a good day.